Yo, what's good? Y'all, it's your boy Jay back at it again. Today we got Why Nobody Likes You tier list by Paulie Walnuts. You'll know what the deal is, man. Follow me on both Jay's here and Jay's there. We going crazy. Keep supporting both the channels. Let's do it.
Alright, some people hate me for no reason, and I'm not worried about those bozos, but sometimes without even realizing it, we can give people reasons not to like us. And you've seen a soda tier list, you've seen a fast food tier list, I'm sure, but I have a feeling you have yet to see a hateable behaviors tier list. So today I'm ranking things that I didn't realize were making my life harder than it needed to be. It was putting me at a disadvantage, right? So starting off, number one, something I wish my ass knew years ago, which is that it's important to smile when you don't feel like smiling. And I'm gonna put this one in C tier.
Good. If you want to make it easier for you to talk to new people and to create new bonds, smile. You know what I'm saying? Like, smiling is a sign that you're a friendly individual, that you want to be approached. Like, there's a reason why if you look at a girl and she look back and she starts smiling, that's like, that's the sign that you can holler at her, right? Because it shows warmth and friendliness. So yeah, smiling is definitely important.
If you're like me, when there isn't shit to smile about, it doesn't come easy. It's not natural. So sometimes, without even realizing it, it's not that I just wasn't smiling, but I'm like mean mugging people. And I don't know if it's because I grew up in New York, where if you go around smiling at everyone, it's only a matter of time before you get robbed. But growing up, I would have teachers, coaches be like, yo, are you good? I'd be like, yeah, dude, I'm chilling. It just never came naturally to me. So, when I'm happy or laughing about something, I'm cheesing. But every other time I'd have like this mean mug, and my thought process was like, it's inauthentic to fake a smile. And it is, but it's like too bad. You know what I mean? If you're having a bad day and you're showing that on your face, you're just gonna have an even worse day because people are gonna treat you like a grumpy dude. You know what I mean? And you might be like, wow, no shit, genius. But I don't know, man. I never knew this. Like, I didn't automatically know this, They tell you as a kid to be yourself. So next time you have an interaction with anyone, start it with a smile and you'll notice the difference. Like, you could be saying the craziest shit, but if you're smiling while you say it, it will come off so much better. And on the flip side, you might think you're being nice and mad respectful to everyone when you start a conversation, but you have the face of someone who just stepped in dog shit. It's gonna show in their reaction. And this applies to girls too. I really had to teach myself, like, if I'm trying to reciprocate eye contact with a girl in public, I need to remember to smile. You psycho. I don't know, man. It doesn't come naturally to me. So it's something you can easily start doing, and it works right away in all these assets of life too. And I'm not saying, walk around with a creepy ass smile all the time like that movie, but just get rid of that mean mug. It's not opening any doors for you, I promise you that.
He's basically saying just be more open to laughing and being more cheerful, something like that.
Life is tough, and you're just making it tougher by looking so pissed off all the time. And I learned this from a book, by the way, Great Gatsby, which if you haven't read or seen the movie, bro was like the original Rizzler. This guy was looks maxing in the early 1900s, which is just, goated. But I don't remember the exact quote, but it was something that, like, once he found out that people liked him more when he smiled, he never stopped smiling. All right, this next one's a two-parter. So you are what you consume / you can't have good conversations because of it. So
yeah, you are what you watch. And this doesn't even just go for you hanging around certain people. This goes for the type of content you consume, how much you're on TikTok, on Reels. What you consume marinates in your mind, right? That's just how it works. If you consume a whole bunch of red pill ideology content, you're going to be more red pill and share some of those views of the people in that space. That's just how it works. You are what you consume, right? This is why I say watch videos that challenge your beliefs so you have a more balanced worldview, right? If you just watch what you only view as right and watch what you only think aligns with your viewpoint, you're never going to have nuances in your worldview, which is going to be a issue when you're talking to someone who has different views than you, because you're going to have a much higher chance of being rude, disrespectful, things of that nature.
I'm going B tier with this one. If you have this habit that most of us do at this point, which is constantly consuming garbage on your phone in whatever form, whether that's brain rot or politics or black pill, red pill, whatever the latest pill is, you may not realize that that garbage is transferring to your real life interactions. So, whether that's you're just regurgitating slop, or, you keep telling everyone how screwed we are, how the world is about to end, even if this is the end, I don't want to hear, no one wants to hear that. Seriously, now more than ever, it feels like more and more people are becoming projections of their feeds. You know, sometimes you talk to someone and just be like, damn, I know this kid's feed sucks. And it sounds mean, but I just feel like at this point, a lot of us are sick of the internet. You know, the way that the world works right now, it almost feels like we're being forced to use it, which is more of a reason that when, you know, we link up in real life, it feels so good to not be talking about some internet garbage.
Yeah, that's why I feel like when it comes to sauce, not even just talking to people, but saucing up as well. Like, when I mean sauce up, I mean talking to girls, right? I was way better at saucing up in person versus on text. Now, don't get me wrong. I could still, you know what I'm saying, do my in between the legs crossover to like a three-pointer during my text. But I feel like it's way easier to connect on a deeper level when you actually get to see the person, make direct eye contact, etc., versus just looking through a screen.
Internet, which, you know, a few years ago was the escape, is now something that we all want to escape from.
Yeah, I feel like COVID was such a turning point in this generation's development that I think that marked the point where the economy got way worse, things got way more expensive because the government just started printing out a bunch of money, and a lot of people still haven't recovered from COVID times, right? Especially my age range, like late teenagers, early adults, like a lot of people still haven't mentally, financially, or physically recovered from COVID. And I feel like that era, like that 2020 to like, you know, mid to late 2021 era, are still having their results be viewed now. Like how people are just inside. A lot of people have social issues. Like people came out the pandemic socially inept. Like they didn't even know how to hold a basic conversation with another person because they just spent all their times frying their brain with Reels, Instagram, TikTok, etc. So I think a lot of why people have this negative view on the internet or just want to get off is because they were on it so much in that time span and got so much other worldview from it, but now they just want to distance themselves.
It's like, yo, did you see what happened to World of T-Shirts? Did you see, you know, there's a new dictator in Madagascar. He's doing something nuts, dude. Did you see it? It's like, just get it away from me, man. Get it all away from me. I probably did see it, man. I'm trying to escape it. It's like finally escaping the internet for a few hours and then someone's trying to drag you back into it. It's like, I mean, I used to do this without realizing it all the time. But as I've gotten older, something I've started to appreciate is good conversation, right? And something so important to having good conversations is being aware that you are a big reflection of what you fill your head with. So the quickest solution here is to just pick up a book. You know what I mean? Like, not just the ones that
I
you see
just
on
bought
your
a book. I bought you know, I had a copy, like I had a paperback copy, but I lost it. I just bought Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, one of the best financial self-help books out there. Really good book. I'd recommend y'all read it.
Feed on the internet again, it's like you'll see 48 Laws of Power, and that's a good book. But like, what about the classics, dude? If you're like me, you probably never for a second considered reading the classics. If you think about it though, it's like these stories have survived generations. I'm like, damn, maybe there's a reason for that, you know? I put a lot of work into these videos and the stories that I share here, and I'll be happy if these last a year. And here we got stories that have lasted generations. So like a little more than a year ago, I was like, if I am what I consume, what happens if I consume the classics? And it's not like a magic
Hello?
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
You have a load of towels that go upstairs in your thing down here by the lunchroom. You need to fold and put up.
Alright.
Okay.
I'm gonna edit that. I'm gonna have to edit that out the video.
switch goes off, but over time you start to notice like the quality of conversations that you're having goes up, and that's with anyone. I feel like before I started reading a lot of books and fiction especially, I couldn't hold conversations with a lot of people. It's like, oh, you don't watch sports, so we can't talk about that. And it's like, oh, you're 50, so there's literally nothing that we can talk about. And I'm not going to pretend to know exactly how this works, but I think when you read a bunch of books, and especially fiction, you start to gain perspective. And all of a sudden you can have conversations with all kinds of people about all kinds of shit. And it's not just about the books themselves. So honestly, just start reading. Like, this has become my answer to every problem that comes up these days. It's like, oh, the world's going to end. Just keep reading, bro. It's like, oh, we just passed the point of no return with AI. It's like, all right, I'm just gonna keep reading, bro. I feel like if I just continue to read, life is bound to get better before it gets worse. I don't know. It's like perspective, focus, critical think maxing. All of this comes from reading, and it's all good. And
yeah, definitely read books. I think reading is, you get such a positive ROI that it's worth it.
Bad. Like 80% of fiction sales across North America are women, which is not surprising, honestly. Like, as a dude, like I said, I had never touched fiction. I thought reading was a waste of time, and I thought, fiction was sus, to be honest with you. It's like I barely have enough time for my own story over here. Why am I about to read yours? But that's why, that mindset is why books like 48 Laws of Power do so well. It's like, oh, this book isn't a waste of time because it'll teach you how to become more powerful.
Yeah, nonfiction teaches you important stuff, but I think fiction expands your worldview, helps with grammar, creativity, stuff like that.
It's like, the truth is, no book is a waste of time. Every book you read expands your palate, but there's something about fiction specifically that develops you socially. You understand people better. And again, I don't know exactly why this is, but if I had to bet, I'd say it's the perspective you gain. And once me and the bros become interesting and get perspective, it's clipped for everyone else, all intellectual and shit. But seriously, start reading books. All right, next, in your head too much. And I'm putting this S tier. If you've been following this channel, this is something I feel strongly about, because the amount of situations throughout the years where I have let my inner voice just totally fry my shit is actually impressive. Like, at one point I thought I had social anxiety, and then I thought I had depression, but really I just could not get out of my head, dude. I'm talking about botching, times with girls where I was so in my head I missed all kinds of signals and shit. Times at job interviews where I would botch them because I was already tweaking about like the day-to-day of the job and how I don't even really want this job, and it's like I wouldn't even get the job because I would botch the interview. It's like first impressions, it goes on and on and on. And it's funny, I didn't realize until not that long ago that some people just don't have an inner monologue, which is so nuts to me. And please comment below if that's you, because that's awesome and I wish I was you. But for me, it's like ever since I was a kid, it's like I'm constantly wrestling this voice inside my head, and that probably makes me sound like a nut job, but it's not psychosis that I'm describing. It's just not having control. And I realized like not having control of this little douchebag in my head was making me less enjoyable to be around. And this is why I'm always telling people be careful with the weed, because after enough time it will make that voice louder. And it's the same reason you got to be careful with the booze, because it might turn that voice down for a little, but now you're a drunk. I don't know about you guys, but I would rather keep the inner monologue than be a drunk slob. There's a saying from somewhere, I don't remember, some smart dude, that I don't recall, but he was like, the only reason drugs and war exist is because men can't sit alone with their thoughts. And you might ask, why would this make someone hate me? It's like, heads are really hating because of my anxiety now.
Yeah, anxiety, like being able to control your mental ideas and what you think about is such a powerful ability to have, right? If you want to have true inner peace, you want to be able to just sit back and relax and to chill with your own thoughts, you need to start meditating. Reading can help. Journaling can also be another faucet. But yeah, man, it is definitely important to cultivate that mind, because if you want to learn how to vibe with people, you need to vibe with yourself first, right? Because if you can really vibe with your internal world and what you've cultivated, then vibing with others is going to be way easier, right?
But think about it through your own perspective. It's like if you're talking to someone and their mind is clearly somewhere else, you can't realize from the outside that, this person is tweaking out about something. You're just like, man, this guy sucks. He's not even listening to what I'm saying. He's not even present. And, the problem here is that it isn't an easy fix. This is a fix that you have to actively work on, and I'm not going to ramble on it too much just because I know I've done a ton of it. But, I'll just say for now, read The Power of Now, the book, first 20 pages, and look into the Wim Hof method. Game changer.
Yeah, that Wim Hof. I ain't gonna lie, I've been doing sage mode breathing. I'm pretty sure I made this one up, right? It's where you have 5 rounds, right? Each round is 5 deep breaths in and out, in through your diaphragm, out through your mouth. And then you do 20 reps of fast-paced breathing, in, out, in, out. You do that with your eyes closed, bro, it's like it's like a factory reset. You get so much mental clarity, so much focus. It's dead ass like a cheat code.
Next, you are a bad listener. I'm gonna put this one C tier. And I know the guy who talks to himself on the internet for 20 minutes straight is telling you as the listener you need to listen more. But as humans, we love being listened to, and it's why people pay for therapy, if you really think about it, just to unload the clip on some poor bastard, right, who at least gets paid for it. There's nothing worse than that dude who just loves the own sound of his voice. Like, I knew this kid in college that would just go on and on and on and on, and you're looking at this kid just like, is he almost done? And right when you think he's about to stop, he just goes on and on and on and on. It's like, I've never been much of a yapper, which might be a surprise to you guys, seeing that I've been yapping my ass off for the past few months on this channel. But I don't know, I never liked the sound of my own voice. I struggle to even watch these videos back, but that doesn't necessarily make me a good listener.
Yeah,
so
I mean, you get used to it. When I first started recording and editing and shit, I hated the way I sounded, right? But as time went on, as I had to, because I have to, on my main channel where I do like commentary videos, and you know, like, I gotta write out the scripts, do the game plan, record, edit, all that. You kind of just get used to it. I'm not gonna lie, you just get used to the way you sound and things of that nature.
Another transferable skill, like at work, with your family, girls, just listen. It's so easy. Like, we spend all this time listening to shit on the internet, but then in real life, it's like there's this tendency to want to speak, you know. It's why, and this is actually kind of interesting, on podcasts they all wear those headphones. I was like, why are these bozos wearing headphones? They're in the same room. It's because they can hear their own audio levels and everyone else's, so that they don't talk over each other. And it's also one of the reasons, you know, it's annoying to go to a bar and be sober. People are always like, oh, why can't you just go out, you know, and not drink? You mix a little booze into any conversation, and all of a sudden everybody's Joe Rogan. That's actually a bad example, because he has to listen as part of his job, but everyone's just trying to speak, right? Next time you're at a bar, just sit back and watch a conversation. You'll notice, like, someone tells a story, then someone else jumps in with how they have their own story, and then someone else comes back with their own story. It's like, if you've never thought about this, you might be the guy who does this all the time, because, you know, it's natural. Like,
yeah, I do my best to not cut people off when they're, you know, talking about something, right? I'll hit them with my bad, I didn't know you're still speaking. Like I'll hit them with one of those so they can, you know what I'm saying, continue, right?
I just want to be heard at the end of the day. And if you can be that guy who just listens, everyone ends up liking you way more. Just a fact. And it's tough, dude. I mean, it's one thing to listen to your own friends, but if you're in like a work environment, for example, something I really struggled with at my corporate job, it was like pretending to care. I made it very obvious that I did not care about what anyone did that weekend. You know, if you could just listen and just like ask literally one question, people will eat that shit up, because, you know, it did me no favors. Again, it's kind of like the smile thing where it's like, oh, I'm just being authentic, but it's like, no, you're kind of just being a moron, because you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, right? And, you know, this is kind of unrelated, but something else I can't stand is when someone just, you know, needs to get the last word in every single conversation.
Oh yeah,
you can say the most simple, just truest statement, like, yo, I need to go to the bathroom. They'll be like, well, actually, you just need to take better care of your gut health. I don't know, it's a bad example, but it's like, whether it's with sports or investing or anything,
that
like,
person is very annoying. Like a person who just can't, like, they always feel the need to say something.
They need to have the contrarian take. Drives me nuts, dude. Maybe that's just me. But moving on to the next behavior. People hate you because you're a hater. And this has to go S tier.
Yeah, hating. Like, I understand that, like, there's a joke like, oh yeah, I'm a hater. I hate. But if we being honest, nobody wants to hang around a hater, bro. Because, like I said, you are what you attract. You're going to get more of what you already are. If you are a hating ass nigga, you're going to get more hate. You're going to deal with more scrutiny. You're going to deal with more envy. Because if you're an envious person, you're just going to attract more of that. Why do you think the rich get richer and the poor get poor? Because the rich, people who already have money, are going to attract more money. While people who don't have money, aka the poor, the less well off, are going to attract more misfortune and whatnot, right? That's just how it works. So if you keep spewing out hate, you hate this, you hate that, I hate everything, guess what? You're going to be more angry, attract more hate. You're going to see more things to be mad about, etc.
Because people can tell when you're a hater, and I don't think being a hater is like a character, like an archetype. You aren't just born a hater. As humans, we all have the ability to hate. It's like if you have the ability to be insecure, then you have the ability to hate, unless you're like a psychopath or something, right? But if you're telling me there's never been a time where someone did something that wasn't even directly at you, or something like totally innocent, and you weren't like, damn, I hate this kid. Like, no one wants to admit it, but we all do it. For example,
writing a book is hard.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, shout out,
Knowing
you
if
know
it's
what I'm
good,
saying?
even
Yo,
harder.
docs and
Neat
all
manuscript.
that. I meant to mute that. My apologies. My apologies. Got to get that premium. Got to get that premium soon.
I do not like Anthony Volpe, bro. I said it. The kid sucks at baseball, shouldn't be a Yankees shortstop. But that's not the only reason I don't like this kid. In this particular case, the real reason is because this dude is the shortstop for the Yankees. Growing up, my room was covered in Derek Jeter jerseys, posters, bats. I played baseball with kids who played baseball with this kid. He grew up in the tri-state area, so I couldn't, you know, usually this excuse like, oh, he grew up in like the South or something, because it's obviously it's harder to be good at baseball when you're from the city. So, you know, I recognize the real reason I hate this kid is because he's living my childhood dream. And that sounds so depressing, but it's true. It's like, it's okay to be jealous and joke around. And I mean, this kid sucks. He's not doing himself any favor. I'd probably hate him less if he didn't strike out every time he came up to the plate. But letting hate go unchecked and just not identifying it is where you start showing it, right? You start becoming visibly unlikable without even realizing it. Like, especially when life is really kicking your ass, it's so easy to just hate everything, complain. I hate this, I hate you, this food sucks, this neighborhood is such a dump, you know, I hate my sister, she's pissing me off. You become a hater. There's no other better word to describe it. Your brain just becomes conditioned to hate. And why would you want to be around someone
Why do you want to be someone who's always just whining, hating? Like, I understand people go through stuff in life, but nobody wants to be around a woe is me ass nigga. I think I can speak for the majority of us when I say nobody wants to hang around a guy who's just, this sucks, yeah. Like, nobody wants to be around somebody like that, especially for a long period of time.
like that, you know? Someone who makes you feel like everything sucks. You would probably not invite that dude to the function. So, how do we fix this? Again, I don't want to pretend like I have all the answers, but for me, gratitude is a big one, right? Like, you can't force gratitude. Some days I'm not feeling very grateful. Some days I'm extremely grateful. But I think, I don't know, I'm a believer that if you remind yourself that people would kill for what you have, like there's always someone who has it worse, it shows like in your day-to-day interactions. You know what I mean? So stop moving around looking for things to hate on. Because, dude, I used to be such a hater. Like, I used to hate on everything. And people pick up on that. And guess what? They hate it. It's a cycle. So you got to get out of that cycle. If you think about it, though, like, all the things on this list shouldn't be enough to make somebody hate you, but they are. There's all these things that we can account for that I mentioned, but you can't account for people just being jealous, insecure, and being trolls. So, you know, trying to be liked by everyone is this huge waste of time, but at the same time, you want to give yourself every advantage you can. You know what I mean? So you want to enter a room on the highest playing field of being liked, if that makes sense. So always be improving, man. Let me know what you guys think about this video, this tier list. I switched up the flow a little bit again. I want to just keep trying new shit. I don't want to get stuck into one format.
Hey,
So
that was a good little video. Shout out my dog. What is your name? Polly Walnuts, my bad. But yeah, with that being said, it's your boy Jay. Stay healthy, stay wealthy, and stay blessed.